Hello and welcome to Joy News today. Now, coming up in the next 60 minutes, at least 13 people have died in an accident at the Ohenenkwanta near Konongo in the Ashanti region. Several others who got injured in the accident, including a toddler, are receiving treatment at the Konongo Odumase Government Hospital. We'll take you live to the accident scene for updates. Also, Bono East region records significant decline in COVID cases. What's accounting for this? We'll hear more from health authorities in the region. And former Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko warns governing NPP against imposing a presidential candidate on the party ahead of the flag bearership race. More as he demands the party make space for delegates to elect a candidate of their choice to lead them into the 2024 polls. We're business and sports as part of this package. Please stay with us. Thanks for staying with us. Now, 3 drivers have been arrested in connection with the Ohenenkwanta accident, which has claimed 13 lives on the spot. A toddler and a woman believed to be a police officer are still on admission at the Konongo Odumase Government Hospital after the ghastly accident, which left 11 others injured. According to eyewitnesses, the accident occurred at about 10:50 p.m. on the main Kumasi-Accra road after a DAF truck carrying several bags of pepper rammed into the middle portion of a commercial bus at Ohenenkwanta near Konongo. My colleague, Ohiming Teria, has been speaking with the police, and he had this interaction with Ejura earlier on News Desk.
To as far as the other end of the road here, and it's not been easy looking at the scene here. Yes, Israel, like I said earlier, this is the scene of the accident, and you could see several bags of fresh pepper spilled all over the place here. It is on the main Kumasi-Accra road, and a while ago when I spoke to the MTTD commander, DSP Stephen Yabua, he did say that this area is noted for such accidents. Let me speak to you. Give us some details. How did this accident occur?
When we arrived here, the information gathered was that an articulated truck was ahead of this cargo truck lying down, and he, because of the speed, he wanted to overtake and veered into the other lane and collided with the OA bus. That caused the accident. They were speeding and then the wrongly overtaken. That caused the accident.
So how many people are involved? How many people were affected?
In the bus, 26 passengers were on board together with the mate and the driver. So 13 people died on the spot and 11 were quickly rushed to Konongo Odumase Government Hospital for treatment. So far, the dead were also conveyed to Stewart Hospital morgue for identification and autopsy so far.
In terms of this particular spot, when you talk of accidents, what is so special about this curve here on the main Kumasi-Konongo road?
It's always overspeeding and wrongful overtaking. They are indisciplined on the road whenever they reach here. The driver reaching on the curve is supposed to take time and then overtake at a proper place, but they do drive carelessly on the road. That causes the accident. They don't observe anything. They just overtake. Other car is coming or there's no car coming.
Is it the first time that the MTTD has been called to this scene to, manage accidents?
Several occasions for this very spot. Several occasions. This place and then Lady Diner. When you go to Yako, that place too is an accident prone. But this is where it usually occurs, having fatal records.
How many times can you say in the last year or two have you got
this year we have had about 4. This year we had about 4 at this very place.
All right, so Israel, that is the Konongo MTTD commander, DSP Stephen Yabua, giving us some information on the fact that this particular stretch is an accident-prone stretch. In the past 1 year, recorded 4 accidents here. Let's get some information from the divisional commander, Chief Superintendent Shaibu Osei. Chief, thanks for your time to speak to us. Okay. In terms of what we are witnessing, let me first get your reaction. How does it feel for your division to be recording. This is what I call high-profile accidents on this stretch.
Thank you for the opportunity. I think when you look at the stretch of the route, this is not a dual carriage. And we expect drivers to drive according to the rules of the route. When I say rules of the route, by going strictly according to the road markings. And if you look at where the accident occurred, it's a curve. It's a curve which does not expect a driver to overtake. But here we are, this very driver attempted to overtake, and then this is what we have seen. And if you look at the road, if you put your cameras on the road, you can see that the road markings too are no more. There are no road markings on the road. So there is the need for highway to look at it critically, because the road markings are there to tell the drivers at least what the road is. We want to urge drivers and appeal to drivers, whether it is day or night, they have to take their time when driving. If this driver had taken his time with a little bit patience, this is an avoidable accident. 13 people have perished. People who are taking care of their families and wives and sisters are no more. Women who are taking care of their children are no more. How can you live in a country like that? Drivers flying on this route, this road from Kumasi to Accra. When you are driving, you see drivers overtaking and facing opposing vehicles coming from the opposite direction, telling those drivers to get down and drive on the shoulders of the road, for them to give them a chance. This is unacceptable and is ongoing on this stretch of this road. You want to appeal, it is only attitudinal change. Without attitudinal change, police cannot line up police personnel from Kumasi to Accra. And the national security cannot put up cameras from Kumasi to Accra to ensure that drivers obey rules of the route. It is attitude. We have to change our attitude. Passengers must speak. When drivers are driving dangerously, they have to tell them courteously that they should take their time. If you don't do that and we don't change our attitude, I'm afraid we have a long way to go. Coronavirus don't kill people, 13 people at a go.
Teria, my colleague who's been following the story, also made a stop at the Konongo hospital. He'll be bringing us some update. We'll turn to the story when he joins us. But moving on, Chief of Konongo in the Bosomtwe district of the Ashanti region wants the president to ensure construction of the Kumasi-Bosomtwe road continues after his visit. Construction of the road has stalled intermittently since it started in 2018, with contractors periodically abandoning the road. Berima Amankwa Edunan Abebio attested to the return of the contractor in the past few days. He says unless the necessary action is taken, the road contractors, Kofi Job Construction, will pack out. Nana Yaojima followed the president on his third-day visit to the Ashanti region and reports.
Nana Akufo-Addo paid a courtesy call on the Asante as part of his tour of the Ashanti region.
I'm saying, Kumasi Kwana Sanjuma Kwan, you who saw what brand me breasoda. See here and say, oh, Yamamu Salsuna Yama, a war, yeah, 1D, 1F, yeah, airport, no one be called London, Yaba. Now the other things, Bankra delay, Kakraba, who I feel, say, Yahuano, be quiet, bitch me a farmer, I don't know, so there are several projects.
Asante believes regular visits to project sites will help the president to accurately update himself on the state of progress. Through such visits, appropriate decisions will be taken to the benefit of the government. The Asante, however, wants the president to ensure development in the Ashanti region in delivering of his mandate.
Ejana breno nanso ye wosi edibie enyame mu ani se fakotuatu ankrofo ani afa bitua wani no ati kwanza anza na de aka no wache ayesa de wuhunu ba bia akokodura na wo ho no e wo sesa ejina ho na de ye
As part of the visit, the president inspected progress of work at the Kumasi airport. The upgrade of the airport to international status is 77% complete and is expected to be completed by August next year. Project consultant Nana Ametepe says the existing airport building would be demolished when the new edifice is completed.
The project constitutes the terminal building, a new terminal building, which is about 12,000 square meters. And then we have the new network, which is coming into here, which is about 4 kilometers, dual carriage road, which will now has been on a traffic model to ensure that the anticipated passenger of 1 million throughput a year can be facilitated through this airport without traffic, both in and out. The current runway is 1.98 kilometers, and we are building 2.3. So the existing control tower height will not allow you to see the furthest extent of the runway. And hence, there was a need to build this one, which also has more sophisticated equipment. And because the whole project includes airside work, which includes the areas where the existing terminal is, we need to migrate the airports from the terminal where it is and bring them here to function. And then that area will be demolished and to allow for the all the buildings to be done. So we believe that by come next year, August, this whole entire airport will be functional.
For Joy News, Nana Ochima, Kumasi.
Meanwhile, President Akufo-Addo is mounting defense for road contractors handling various projects in the Ashanti region. This comes after concerns of residents of these areas about the constant stoppage of the construction, leading to further deterioration of the road. Now, let's take you to the Santase Apire stretch in Kumasi, where there was near confrontation between residents and police. The residents have been protesting the bad nature of the road to get the attention of the president, who is currently in the region, to get it fixed. My colleague Emmanuel Kwesi Deborah of Love FM joins us live with more. Kwesi, tell us more about this particular stretch and how it is affecting the livelihood of the people.
All right, Mama V. So this stretch goes from Santase all the way to Apire, and now this is one of the main stretches, should I say, which links the major towns around the enclave, the Santase enclave. And for instance, when they are going, they are supposed to pay, for instance, that's about 3 kilometer stretch, about 5 cities to cross. That's taking a taxi. But there's a case where sometimes they spend beyond the 5 cities or sometimes 10 cities and go beyond something like 30 or 40 cities. So in terms of cost, in terms of depth, and then recently there was this sedan which got drowned as a result of the stretch. And so the people told us that, for instance, when there's a gaping hole there, so this hole has been there for almost 3 years. And as a result of this hole, you're having many cars going in there, and you're having so many casualties. So when you talk about that fatalities, that death, also when you talk about cost, so these are the ways that the people are affected. And they think that it's about time the contractor comes there and works for them on the road. So we saw the contractor and spoke with him, and he told us that it's not his fault. It's just that they've not been paid. And so that's the reason why that road has still not been fixed. So what he told us that in the interview, they're going to cover that gaping trench there so that the people will be at least safe to cross to ply the stretch. So that's what and the steps that the contractor is taking now
And Chrissy,
or to cover that trend.
Great. Are the residents still demonstrating, and have they met the objective of getting the attention of the president?
Okay, so that's what they decided initially, that through the protest they will be able to attract the attention or get the attention of the president. But that was not the case. We had so many security forces, like the police, coming there and having a bit of a near scuffle with them. And as I said earlier, when we were there, the contractor head of the development, and he came around. And so that's the attention that they brought. And he came to talk to them as to the steps they are taking to fix the road. So those are the things which are happening now. So now I can see that the place is very calm and activities are ongoing. Just that what the people want is for the road to fix so that they can have the peace of mind.
I understand they also presented a petition.
For petitions, it's not today they are doing that. This is only a word of mouth. They've been going to the KMA. They've been going to the regional minister trying to tell him how dangerous the road has been for all these years, and they've not gotten any response. So for petition, for what happened today is only a word of mouth. But for real petition, asking with a letter and going to the authorities, with the KMA, with the regional minister, they've been doing this for the past 3 years.
Just finally, Chrissy, is this one of those areas that the president is due to visit?
Okay, so it's not one of those areas. So what happened is that there's a certain hotel around in that enclave where they were informed that the president will be residing. So that is why they decided to protest. And so we're not really clear with that, whether it's true that the president is around the place, but that's what the residents have heard. And so they were thinking that if they're able to stage the protest, it's possible that the president is going to hear them and their problem will get solved.
We'll leave it here, Kwesi Deborah. That's Love FM's Kwesi Deborah there with an update. Now, the Institution of Engineering and Technology Ghana has charged road and building engineers to place professionalism over monetary considerations. The institute says many roads and structures that have been constructed and supervised by some engineers in the country do not stand the test of time. This situation, they say, has become a dent on many engineers across the country. At the induction of 40 new engineers to the institution, a senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and a member of the institute, Dr. Ebenezer Ankoma Jamra, called on engineers to seek counsel before they embark on a project to protect the image of engineers in Ghana. Richard Kojanyako has more in the following report.
It is very common to see many roads that were constructed in recent times developing potholes and buildings that have pronounced structural defects. The Institution of Engineers and Technology says such things are giving engineers in the country a very bad name. A senior lecturer at the University of Cape Coast and a member of the Institution of Engineers and Technology Ghana, Dr. Ebenezer Ankoma Jamra, says such engineers should be wary of the bad name they are earning for all engineers in the country.
Look at the roads that we've been constructing, the buildings in this country. You look at them, you construct a road today, the next day it's not good. The construction, collapse of the construction, the iron roofing sheet, they are fading off. What is happening? Engineers are supposed to make sure that these things are good. And I believe all these roads that we are talking about, all these manufacturing companies and other people, the engineers there, what are they doing? It's because they are not coming out well to defend their profession, to defend their ethics. Because if you don't do it, you'll be fired. If you don't do it, something will happen to you. I'm urging all engineers to be bold enough to defend our professionalism, to defend our ethics, so that we don't do something by an instruction of somebody because we are afraid. So there shouldn't be any fear and panic so long as the engineering practice is concerned.
Immediate past president of the Institution of Engineers and Technology Ghana, Emmanuel Kwesi Buedu, advised the inductees to exercise some caution and seek proper counsel before they embark on any project.
Profession, it has to do with standards, specifications, so that you'll be able to execute a project very, very well, so that there will be no substandard work. We've realized that some time ago, you see, especially with regards to civil work, a lot of building collapsing, a lot of accident happening. So when you join the institution, we are able to share ideas.
40 engineers were inducted into the Institution of Engineers Ghana this year. Reporting for Joy News, Boakye Agyarko, Cape Coast.
The families of Ibrahim Mohammed, also known as Kaka, and Abdul Nasir Yusuf have jointly rejected the report of the Ejura committee tasked to probe the circumstances surrounding the death of Kaka and some 2 others who also lost their lives in a violent shooting at Ejura on June 28. Addressing a press conference at Awoshi today, the spokesperson of the affected families, Nafiru Mohammed, described the report as absurd, bizarre, careless and clearly disgraceful. According to him, the committee's assertion that Kaka was killed as a result of his social media activism is porous and does not appeal to the facts and evidence on the ground.
Kaka was not directly linked to his social media activism. It is more probably a family feud. As you are aware, ever since the release of the report, several prominent and credible people in the society have been baffled as to how the committee could have arrived at this conclusion. We thank the several of them who spoke up and criticized the obvious absurdity and bizarre nature of the findings. We are grateful that they have shown clearly how the committee improvised its own reports and diminished its own credibility by amplifying propaganda and hatred for the discernible reasons. We would like to use this opportunity to state in clear and unambiguous terms that the statement by the committee that Kaka was probably killed because of a family feud is obviously false, careless made, and very clearly disgraceful. Their statement was made without regard for the pain of the family and could only have been made by persons who were so eager to please their appointing authority that they left their humanity and their conscience aside. Even though they knew that they had no basis, evidence, or authority for that statement, they made it anyway. Perhaps because why bother about the truth and justice for poor family in Ejura? When you call to the bidding of those who have promised you and have the power to guarantee your further political appointments. So yes, we have struggled as to why persons of their caliber will be so willing to forsake their own credibility just to do a hunched job in expectation for political favor. But we leave them to the judgment of their conscience and to the weightier justice of Allah. As a family, we consider it necessary, however, we talk the public through the facts and to demonstrate to you why the report and the supposed finding of the committee are untrue, horribly careless and insensitive. First, I want to address the mandate of the committee. It is important that we remind ourselves that the Ejura committee, by their own admission, had no mandate to investigate the death of Kaka. They had no mandate to establish who killed him or why Kaka was killed.
Former Energy Minister Boakye Agyarko is warning the governing NPP against imposing a presidential candidate on the party ahead of the flag bearership race. According to the former minister, the party should make space for the delegates to elect a candidate of their choice to lead them into the 2024 polls. In an interview with my colleague, Kwesi Parker-Wilson, the former campaign manager officially declared his interest in leading the NPP into the 2024 polls.
Links have been thrown about the next successor to the president. Is Mr. Boakye interested in the seat?
Absolutely.
You are interested in one for the president?
Look, 2008, I was a contestant, one of the 17. I stayed to pay my dues. I consider myself fit for purpose, so I will not resile from that ambition or that objective. But at the end of the day, it is for the grassroots to decide. We have a process. This party has never accepted coronation or imposition. It is against our DNA. You can go back to the beginnings of our tradition. J.B. Danko had to contest. He almost lost. Buzia had to contest. And in that wise, people like Joe Apire, Azozo, Hatton Mills, they all left to form the Justice Party. Buzia was contested. Victor Usu was contested by the likes of J.H. Mensah and Dr. Kwam Safwood. Professor Edubuahi was contested by the likes of Kodia, Bilson, Kufuor, and all of them. Kufuor was contested famously by Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo was also contested famously by Alan Chisamate. So this party has a process that must be gone through to elect and confirm its leader.
Is it your suspicion that there seems to be an imposition of a candidate on the party?
No, what I'm saying is that there is a process. That process will be respected. And it is that process that throws up the leader of the party. If wishes were horses, beggars would ride.
And the former energy minister also challenged his accusers to show proof of acts of corruption in his handling of the controversial Apire deal, insisting the allegations against him will not impact negatively on his desire to lead the NPP.
If they have muscles, if my critics have muscles, let them flex. I am a bona fide son of this party. I am a founding member of this party. I have worked hard and long in this party. So if anybody thinks that I don't have credentials, otherwise, how did I become campaign manager?
Well, we've transited from that. I mean,
yes, you cannot be campaign
allegations in recent past.
Like what?
The first concerns about your alleged involvement in the Apire deal.
Alleged?
Yes.
Let he who alleges make them prove the case. You can't allege and let just an allegation stand. It is only Hajia Fatimata Alige who alleges and let it stand. He who allege must prove. But at the appropriate time, that issue will be fairly answered to the discomfiture of a lot of people. At the end of the day, every politician is going to have an allegation against them. That is the nature of politics. That is the nature of our society. I am not afraid of allegations. So long as my conscience and my heart are clear, I fear no foe. Those will not impact in any way, shape, or form my political career going forward. My contribution to this party is solid. I am proud of it, and I will continue to serve this party.
You're watching Joy News today. When we come back, we have business. Stay with us.
Hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Business. My name is Darrell Kwao. The Minister of Food and Agriculture, Dr. Boakye Agyarko, has announced plans to establish a Grains Development Authority. The authority, which will absorb the Grains and Legumes Development Board, is expected to regulate the development and marketing of both produce for local and international markets. Let's now hear from Mr. Ejura, who has been speaking with journalists.
In 2019, Ghana exported over 130,000 metric tons of 19 food items to our neighbors. We've become the breadbasket of West Africa. In 2015, we were importing into this country 115,000 metric tons of maize. 2016, it went to about 80,000 metric tons. Now we are a net exporter. We've been a net exporter of maize all this time now to our neighbors, and the volumes are increasing. Maize production has gone from 1.8 million metric tons total output. Last year, we did over 3 million metric tons, and my target is to double that to 6 million metric tons in the next 2-3 years. We should be able to do that because the farmers are showing such keen interest in the programs that we've put together. We want to be self-sufficient in rice, and that one we've said about 2023, 2024, this country will be self-sufficient in rice. And if you look at the statistics, you can see that in leaps and bounds, we are getting to that stage. We want to be able to do 1 million metric tons of soya, and that one too, we are in the process. As a result of all these improvements, I'm actually going to Cabinet to create an authority for grains. Grain Development Authority is in the pipeline, just like we have a Tree Crop Development Authority.
Now, Fidelity Bank has handed over 10 new buses to the Greater Accra branch of the Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, in a bid to improve passenger safety and comfort. The union approached Wani Group to help it to procure new buses, with Fidelity Bank providing $850,000 financial package. At a handing over ceremony in Tema, Managing Director of Fidelity Bank, Julian Kinsley-Opuni, said transport plays an important role in the economy. There's more in this report.
Ghana Private Road Transport Union is the largest transport union in the country. Its service often comes under scrutiny, particularly in the area of safety and comfort of passengers due to the state of its vehicles. Under the current arrangement with Swanee Group and financed by Fidelity, Greater Accra Regional Branch of GPRTU will pay $850,000 for the brand new 10 34-seater buses in the next 5 years. For Managing Director of Fidelity, Julian Kinsley-Opuni, the partnership is a huge step in helping improve transport system in the country.
Everybody has a responsibility here. To start off, with regards to the drivers and the owners, this is an asset that you're paying for, and it has to not just pay for itself, but also give you additional livelihood over a longer period of time. To make that happen is the care that you take on the car. Make sure that the right levels of insurance, make sure that the treatment of the car, even by your customers, is at the right level. For customers, I think it's an indication of GPRTU taking steps to give a higher quality of transport for their customers. And therefore, you also have a responsibility when you sit in there, not just on paying fares, but even the treatment of the vehicle when you're in it. Because we all want to get to the position where, you travel to other countries, you see the quality of transport and vehicles, and you wish you could get that in Ghana.
Public Relations Officer for GPRTU, Abbas Ibrahim Moro, is optimistic results of such partnership will give the union a new face.
GPRTU, we are being accused of using aged vehicles. Hence, we brought in this project to make sure gradually we'll be changing some of the aged vehicles, so it will help a lot. It will help us, it will help our clients who are our passengers and Mother Ghana as a whole. So this is our intention of getting into such partnership. We are hoping to get into more partnership than a single partnership with Savani.
Meanwhile, Swanee Group says Aisha, which is an Indian brand, is built to perform in Ghana's terrain. Thomas Swaneka is Chief Executive Officer of the company.
I felt I was obligated to help the regional chairman to put structures in place to bring buses which are safe, buses which are internationally recognized, but then the handicap was financing these buses. And so I was able to put a syndication and a structure together to get Fidelity Bank to buy into financing these buses for GPRTU Greater Accra. So yes, this venture is a journey which I hope will spread to the rest of the regions. I mean, His Excellency the President says Ghana without aid. This is a time for us to do private sector driven businesses.
The partnership will be extended to other regions.
All right, and that's it for business. More coming up at the top of the hour. Up next, sports.
Hello, good afternoon and welcome to the sports segment. With me, Ore Kuwampofo. Coast football is widely accepted as the most important of any country's football development. After a season of officially reintroducing the structure to Ghana's football pyramid, stakeholders were not too pleased with the efforts of the Ghana Football Association. My colleague Misha Ikweno visited one of the many match centers across Ghana and reported this.
After 6 months, the first season of the revitalized Juvenile League will be coming to an end today. And the Indafa Park, which has served members of the Maprobi community for many years, will be hosting a fixture between Ken Harrison Babies and Argentino Juniors as one of many fixtures this morning. After a long period, the GFA reintroduced the Juvenile League in April 2021. The league, which started in May this year and involved academies and coast clubs across Ghana, represents an attempt by the GFA to shift focus to what they describe as the backbone of every football nation. However, Juvenile League chairman of the Accra West District, Patrick Atajedu, is disappointed with the efforts of the GFA at bettering standards of the basic level. The nature of the football parks represents a big part of a bigger challenge.
Playing on the sandy pitches does not help the children. But in Greater Accra, we don't have many grass pitches that the children will play on it. So we have always been managing on the sandy pitches. That's what we have been always playing on. And we will play that the executives at the RFA, the ministry will come and help us to develop our pitches for us. Before the season, the FA gave us 10 balls, and we have almost about 34 juvenile clubs and 44 Division 3 clubs. And the 10 balls is not sufficient for us. After the first run, all the balls get spoiled.
Former acting chairman Emmanuel Isaac Akwidiram shares similar sentiments, but believes for the juvenile system to get better, it needs to exist outside the GFA.
Unless the GFA leave everything for when we were doing our own thing, everything was going on well. When we are not on the RFA and GFA, everything is going on well. Now when they came in, everything got spoiled. Everything got spoiled. They will say, play, they will give you this, you play, nothing will come. Play, they will give you that, you play, nothing will come. Juvenile, how much did they give us? Each district, not club, district, they gave district 1,000 cities. For what? 1,000 cities, which I use 1 week for my training and football matches. And you give the whole district 1,000 cities. To do what? They should help us. They should try and help us. Rather, they say they are giving us ball. District, how much ball did they give it? 10. And do you know the club we have in Accra West District? We have about 70 to 80 clubs, and you give us 10 balls. How are we going to share it? I'm asking you also, how are we going to share it?
Despite the challenges, coach of Dansimo Barcelona, Michael Boama, is excited with the performances of his team this season. He, however, highlights that the importance of football at the basic stage shouldn't be entirely focused on securing victories, but rather improving players.
Looking at my boys, I think they are performing because being a leader on the table is not easy. For me, I don't normally focus on winning. I believe in development more than winning. Let's say at this juvenile level, winning doesn't, let's say taking the league self, you will not get anything. So I believe in developing. Sometimes we might lose, but then looking at the performance of my boys, I become happy.
And for some of the players, the first season of a juvenile league, after a very long while, has been a perfect opportunity to improve their football knowledge.
As a team, you must be united. You must be united to defeat anyone. You don't have to be afraid of anyone. Anyone is coming, you have to score them to win the league. So as for today, we are come to win the league.
This league is a very tough league. All the teams involved in the league are very strong opponents. We learned many things, shooting, passing and dribbling. We can focus on our league and win it today.
In the league, we learn many things. Our coaches also taught us many things. Passing, dribbling, shooting from the back, scoring. So I'm sure this league will be ours.
The GFA have taken a further step at basic football development with the introduction of the Women's Juvenile League, which will kick off from the 2021-22 season. Michelle Kwete-Kweno reporting for Joy Sports.
The General Secretary of the Ghana Athletics, Bawa Fuseni, has stated emphatically that athletics in the country lacks elite coaches due to the inability of most coaches to pass level 1 after training. He has been speaking with Joy Sports' Muftar Nabila.
When I say we don't have athletes, elite coaches in Ghana, I meant we don't have elite coaches in Ghana. There's nothing to it. In the coaching system, in the World Athletic coaching system, we have categories of coaching systems. The last part of it is the elite level. We'll start with level 1. Level 1 is a general coaching course. The general coaching course. Everybody who go to level 1, you do the general coaching. It's only when you pass level 1 to level 2, then you go and do specialized area. Level 2 is specialty. You specialize either in sprint and jumps. When I say sprint and jump, that is 100, 200, and 400. And jumps, either vertical, that is high jump or pole vault, horizontal, that is long jump or triple jump. Or you go and do middle and long distance, or marathon and walking race. You specialize in these areas. It's only when you pass level 2, that is special area, then you now go to elite level, that is level 3. To be able, the level 3, they would coach you how to take care of athletes at Olympic level. I get what I'm saying? So these are the steps that one will follow or one will pass through to get to the elite level. And if somebody who can look at my face and tell me, Ghana, for the last 10 years, we have a coach who has passed level 1. The last we did the coaching course at Accra Sports Stadium in 2014, we had 100% failure. So if you don't pass level 1, how can you go to level 2 to even specialize? If you don't pass level 2, how can you even go to level 3 to become an elite coach? So when I said Ghana do not have elite coaches, this is what I meant. But I spoke on behalf of the Ghana Athletics. And Ghana Athletics is the local representative of the World Athletics. And this is how World Athletics term their coaches. Before you can be called an elite coach at the World Athletics level, you need to pass through all these stages. And how many Ghanaian coaches have gone through that? How many? The last time we did level 1 coaching course, we had 100% failure. None qualified for level 2. All of them had participatory certificates.
Well, that's how we wrap up the sport here. My name is Ejura Kwampofo.
Akon there, and then show business news. Indeed, that's it for Joy News today. Do log on to myjoyonline.com where we have more news. My name is Mama Vioso Abwaji. Thanks for your company.